now. Whichever students that you have any questions, you feel free to ask or stop me anytime. If you have any question, if I am able to answer you, then I will give you the answer straight away. If I cannot, then I will see you in school to answer lah. All right, hopefully I can answer everything lah. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do revise for UASA exam, which is very important for your Form 4 streaming, isn't it, right? So your Form 4 streaming is very important. They'll look at your maths and science especially. So if for those who aim for science stream, sub-science or account class, right? Your maths is very important, yeah, to help you to go get into these classes. So let me start with, normally in your exam, you will have a formula in front of your paper. So you must look through first, what do you have in your formula? For example, there are basic formula on indices in case that you come across questions that you don't know how to answer for about indices. You can just go through here. Just one or two, just a few basics. Actually, there are more, isn't it? A lot of indices. Later, we'll get into that. So we just glance through first so that you don't waste time on looking and finding for your formulas late when you see your paper, right? So if you need to, the formulas are all included for your Form 1, Form 2, Form 3 actually. So some are the formulas you needed for your lower forms, but if for Form 3, not all formulas are related to your exam, okay? They just put a general formula in it, so you can just go through which formula that is needed. For example, 1, 2, 3 here is indices, and then the 9 here, Pythagoras theorem, you might need when you are doing trigonometry, for example. And what else? Gradient, okay? Gradient, you need that for your straight line. What else? Simple interest, number 14. Simple interest. Now, please remember, yeah, for simple interest in chapter 3, your interest, it can be used for saving account, where the bank will give you interest for keeping money into the saving account. That is simple interest. Or the bank will charge you simple interest for using credit card, for example, that you have to pay the bank simple interest. Or loan, if you take money from the bank, you borrow money from the bank, and you need to pay interest, normally the bank will count simple interest lah. Or sometimes the bank, they will count interest on balance. We will talk about that also later on when we focus about chapter 3. Next, matured value, or they say maturity value, that is used for what kind of savings, everyone? Refresh your memory. MV is equals to P bracket 1 plus R over N, and then NT. This is used for what kind of situation, in what kind of savings that you need to use to use this formula. Having this formula no use, you must know where to apply this. Nobody wants to answer. Yes, UJ says compound. Zhishan also say compound. Yes, when the question use, you need to count compound interest, and the compound interest is actually specifically for fixed deposit. Yeah, normally it's fixed deposit. Why? Because you keep your money in a certain period of time. Let's say, for example, for 1 month, for 3 months, for 6 months, and after the time's up, then you may choose to withdraw, or you may choose to continue saving. But if you continue saving, the bank, what they do is, after that 3 months that you kept, the bank is going to calculate or compound the interest for you and put it into together with your money. So when at the end, when you withdraw out the money, that is your maturity value, means that you will get back your deposit, your money that you keep inside the bank, or we use the word, the letter P, principal, right? And you will also get the interest together with the deposit. So the interest is calculated actually inside here already, R over N, and then power of NT. So we calculated everything, your saving and the interest. So MV is saving plus interest already. So you don't go and take this answer and then you plus again your deposit. No need, because NV means your saving plus interest together, all in one already. So when you withdraw money, the bank already put in the interest to you already. Understand not? Okay, so this one is included interest. Now, next question 16, total amount payable, or we say total repayment. There's another word for it also, total repayment. A equals to P plus PRT. So your A is actually representing amount of loan, okay, that you need to pay back to the bank. So this is calculating loan that you have to pay. So overall, how much that you owe the bank, that is P, principal, and you need to include interest as well. So that is PRT again. So PRT, that is a simple interest for your loan here, all right? Okay, next one, in another page of formula, you'll be given regarding shapes, that is area, and also circles, and then formula for circles. All these formula for circles normally is more to your lower forms, your form 1 and form 2s. But area, who knows, you might need it. And also surface area or volume also, formula for volume. Because normally KBAT question, TP4, TP5 questions, maybe they will ask you to draw plan and elevation. They give you a 3D solid shape, and then they might ask you draw already. After that, they ask you to calculate, find area of this shape or find volume of this shape. So they will be continuous from your part A, part B, and so on. Yeah, especially your part C question, subjective yeah. Okay, and then what else? This one, the interior polygon. This one actually is a lower form lah. All right, so we are going to concentrate chapter by chapter, yeah? So if you have any question, you can just ask me. Any doubt, you can just ask me. If not, means I will just touch and go the formula that you should know, the basic that you should know, okay? All right, so we're going to start already, yeah? Okay, so in chapter 1, you must know the basic, which is you must know how to write your index notation. Sometimes you know how to write, but you don't know what it is called. So sometimes in the exam, they give you question, okay? They give you question, but they won't tell you, you must write like this. They will say, please state in index notation. So do you know what is index notation or not? Index notation means you must write the number or an alphabet in front, that is called your base, and the number on top right-hand side, a very small number, that is your index. In US, they use the word exponent. Here, we are following the UK format, so we use index, yeah, index. So how do I know what number do I need to write on the top right-hand side? And how do I know what to put for my base? So this is actually, how do you get this index notation? Is actually from repeated multiplication of the base, yeah? If let's say you have a number that is repeatedly multiplied, this times this times this times this, right? So we will not write long. So what we do is we use that number as the base and power of how many times is repeated. So if it's repeated 4 times or 5 times, then you put power of 5. So the 5 will be written as an index on the right-hand side, top right, then it must be smaller than your base. Some students, then handwriting, the base and the index same size. Even though you write 3 and 5, but you write 3 and 5 same size, means the teacher will see that, hey, this is 35, this is not 3 power of 5. So when you write your answer, please write it properly so that the teacher can see clearly and give you marks. We are trying to help you to give you as much marks as we can, but please help us also to let us see your answers clearly, write it properly, and write it neatly. That is very important. Okay, next one is, how do you convert a number to a certain base? You must use repeated division, okay? This is what I discussed with the 3E this morning, yeah? So you have to repeatedly divide by the same base until you reach 1. And how many times that you divide, that number appears how many times, that is your index. So when you write your index notation, you will put the base, the number that you repeatedly divide, and the index must be on the right-hand side. So this is how you convert. Sometimes they don't use the word convert. They don't use the word change. They might use the word express. Yeah, express 81 to base of 3, for example. So it's the same meaning. They want you to write down the answer. Okay, so if this is a subjective question, please make sure that you show your steps. And if let's say the question is just 1 mark, then of course you don't have to show the steps. If the question has 2 marks or 3 marks, then for sure we want to see the steps. So make sure you check the marking first. How much is that marks for that question? And please make sure that you write sufficient or enough answers or steps so that the teacher can give marks, full marks to you. All right. Okay, so what if you have a number that is in fraction that you need to convert? The base also is fraction. So what you do is you will take the number that is on top of the fraction, you divide repeatedly by 2, the number on top also. And then the number at the bottom, you also repeatedly divide by the number at the bottom. So what you do is you do separate repeated division. Okay, so 32 you repeatedly divide by 2, and then the 3,125 you will also repeatedly divide by 5. Yeah, so when you repeatedly divide separately, you will see that the number or your base, it will appear the same numbers. So for example, my number 2 appears 5 times, my number 5 appears 5 times as well. So when you write, you will write the base in the bracket, and since both of them has the same index, you will combine them and write them in just one index outside the bracket. So when you put bracket, means the whole thing inside the bracket must be power of 5. Okay, so this is how you convert a fraction to another base that is fraction also, okay, to the power of an index. Right, next one, you must also have your calculator ready. Make sure that there is battery. Don't wait until the day that you're having an exam, then only you check, hey, no battery lah, how? So nobody's going to borrow you your calculator because everyone need it, right? So make sure you have your own calculator, it's fully charged or it's with battery and with all your other tools with you. Okay, this is the one, that law of indices that teacher mentioned. Now, in the formula, they only give you 1, 2, 3. But there are other formulas that you should know. So please make sure that you go through, especially those in textbooks, you just go through. For those who don't have reference books. Yes, Amir don't have MOE. Who is Amir? Amir don't have MOE. Why Amir don't have MOE? That's why I say y'all have to be prepared. Yeah, is he a new student?
No, Amir from 3E, 3 effective. You forgot about him.
Oh, why he didn't have his you see lah, all this one by one. I told you already, I'm not going to stop to admit one by one, please, because teacher is in the middle of the lesson. I cannot one by one admit. I'm very sorry about this, okay? Because if it will really, I have to stop. Suddenly, if someone ting tong again, I have to admit. So I'm very sorry. If he wants, then later tomorrow you teach him, or he has to wait for my recording. Okay, fair, yeah. So for those who don't have your MOE, I'm very sorry. I cannot admit you one by one. It's going to disrupt the whole lesson. All right. Okay. Next, after this law of indices, make sure you know all the formulas, especially the multiplication using the same base. Make sure same base, when they multiply, index must plus. Same base when you divide, index must minus. And then when you have a bracket, the index inside the bracket, and outside the bracket you have to times. And then anything that is power of 1 is still that base. Any base that is power of 0, it becomes 1, not 0, yeah, not 0. And if you have the base that is power of negative index, negative means flipped, terbalikkan, yeah, you have to flip your base upside down. And if you have your index is a fraction, always remember the top part of your index is a power. So the power must always be on the right hand side of your base, inside a root. Now, the number at the bottom of your fraction, the index fraction there, is always the root. So you must show that number outside the root here. Okay, outside the root, yeah. So the example is already given on the right side. So just everyone just go through the example. I will share this after our revision today. I will share to everyone. Make sure that you just go through. Okay, next one. this one also I will skip already because this is all the basic that you should know already. So this one I will share after the revision. You just go through for your own revision only. So teacher will not go through one by one, how do you need to solve and all that. Teacher put in here as example and steps already. You all go through lah, all one by one. Okay, how to simplify also, you must go, normally you must do from left to right, yeah? Do from left to right, okay? Solve one by one and make sure when you are doing your law of indices, always use the same base. Like here, base 7, this is also base 7, this is also base 7. Then only you can apply the law of indices. When I see times, my base, I need to plus together. But first of all, we have bracket. We always solve bracket first, right? So use this bracket and you need to times the index inside times with the index outside, okay? Then only the answer you plus with your 6 and then only you minus with your 3. Why do we minus? Because for law of indices, when you see divide, the same base, you have to minus your index, okay? So all these you have to go through some examples and try to do some basic calculation for all these. Focus on your basic, all right? Okay, next, I'm going to go to chapter 2, which is also important, yeah? Normally in your exam, UASA exam, the first few questions in your exam, they always ask you chapter 1 and chapter 2. They always ask you chapter 1, chapter 2. So is it important? Yes, it's important. Your first 2 chapters, very important. So make sure you really master the skills. How do you times your law of indices? How do you divide? How do you solve the bracket and so on? Okay. So next, when we go to chapter 2, the first part, the front part is you need to count how many significant figures, or you need to round off to how many significant figures. So the very most important is zero. Zeros is always very confusing. The ones is non-zero is always counted as significant. Yeah, significant means penting lah, nombor penting. So always check where is your zeros. All right. So let's look at the first number on top. Number 1 is counted significant. Number 5 counted as significant. 0 here because it's in the middle of 2 numbers at the side. Okay. So 0 in the middle is counted significant. 8 is counted also. And then 0 at the back here, because of this 0 is at the back, but is at the back of a point, at the back of a number, as long as it fulfills these 2 conditions, ada 2 syarat. The first condition, okay, first condition, if the 0 is at the back of point, okay, at the back of a decimal point, titik, and at the back of a number. Okay, this one you see is this 0 is at the back of 8, right? And it's at the back of a point. So as long as you have these 2 conditions, your 0 is counted as significant. Okay, so when do we count the 0 significant? Your 0 is in between, in the middle, and the zeros at the back of a point, at the back of a number, then we count it as significant. 6 also significant. Now, what about if you have 0, 0 in front? You see, this 0 is at the back of point, but it is not at the back of a number. You see or not? So, in this case, is it the same like this? Is this 0 the same like this 0 on top? Is these 2 same? Are they 2 same or not? Can we say this is also significant? No.
Oh, cannot.
Cannot, yeah? All right, very good. So, because it does not fulfill 2 conditions, teacher say already, the 0 must be at the back of a point and at the back of a number. This is 0. So, it only fulfill 1 condition. Yeah, 35000.0 is counted as, okay, good question there. All right, if they didn't ask you to round off, they only ask you to count. So Chia asked me 3500.0 is counted as how many significant figure? We will count 2 significant figure. The 00, you see, 3500.00. Now, 35 is counted. Zeros at the back is not counted, not counted. 0.00 also not counted, not counted. So you only have two significant figures here. So the zeros in front, this is also not counted, not counted. This is counted, counted. 0 here is in between, remember, in between. So we also count, 4 also count. Now, if let's say behind this 4 got 0, do we count or not? If let's say got 0, 0, do we count or not? Faster, faster. If the question come out like this, 0.01704000, do you count? Everyone very good. Say yes, correct. Yes, Zhongxin also say yes. All right, so the zeros at the back, yes, is counted. Why? Because it's at the back of the number 4 and it's also at the back of a decimal point. It fulfills two criteria here, right? So if it fulfills two conditions, this 0 at the back, yes, is counted. So I hope everyone clear about this already. Yeah, very important. You know how to count your significant figures. Okay, next one. Okay, what else? Okay, you must know how to write a standard form. Okay, standard form. Normally, let me go to this one. Okay, normally what they do is they will give you a number. All right, they will give you a number. And from a number, they say, hey, I want to write shortcut of this number. I don't want to write the number too long. So the shortcut is actually we call standard form. Now, when you write shortcut, it's just not just cut the number away. No, we write the number smaller, but we must have a times 10 power of something. So the standard form criteria is you must have a number in front, but at the back, you must have times 10 power of something. Okay, that number in front also must have condition. What condition is this? The number in front must be with a point. And, yes, Yuman, what is that? Okay, that point here must be showing you the number must be 1 or more than 1. And then the number must be less than 10. Let's say you already count your answer. The final answer you get 10.938, for example, times 10 power of 2, for example. So if you show me this answer, you show me this answer in your final answer, you will not get marks for this. Why? Because you did not fulfill the criteria for a standard form, because standard form says the number in front of your times can only be 1 or more than 1 and less than 10. Here got 10.9 point something already, right? So this is wrong already. So how do I rectify this answer? How do I make it correct and get marks for this? Who can help? How do we rectify this part? How can you get marks? Now teacher say if you write for me 10.938 times 10 power 2, this is wrong. Okay? Why? How are we going to get marks for this?
You divide 1 more 10.
Yeah, or you move the decimal point to the front. Yeah, correct, Yujie. You move the decimal point to the front, right? So, or Irfan said you divide by 10 again. So when you move it one more time, it becomes 1.0938. So now you fulfill the criteria. It's more than 1, it's less than 10. But when you move one step in front, the decimal point, like Irfan said, you already divide one more time, another 10. So these two, you need to increase one more because you jump one more step. So your last answer, you should have 10 power of 3, not 10 power of 2. You have moved one more step here. Okay, clear? So make sure everyone, because there will be question like they might give you a standard form plus another standard form, or they might give you a standard form times another standard form, and your final answer, you must always double check the answer there, the number there, is it fulfill the criteria or not? More than 1 and less than 10. Okay, that one is very important. That step is very important. Sometimes the question purposely want to give you the answer that you get is more than 10. Then they want to test and see whether you understand or not. Do you understand the step? Standard form cannot have the number more than 10. Okay, so you have to be careful lah. Like this is what teacher say lah. Some students, they write their final answer 28.3 times 10 power 13 already. Oh, they think that, hey, this one is standard form already correct lah. No, it's not, because this number in front here is already 28. this is already more than 10. So this is not correct. So if you get your answer 0.3283, this is 0 point less than 1 already, also does not fulfill the criteria of your standard form. So this is also wrong. You don't get marks. So what you do is either you move the step, you move the point. Okay, you move the point. So in this case, you must show 2.83. Then only is correct. It's more than 1, less than 10. Okay, and standard form must have times 10 power of something. The whole thing here is called standard form. A number times 10 power of something. This is called standard form. Right? Okay, next one. Questions, they might ask you, convert or change or express a number into standard form. So let's say they give you a number, for example, like just now the number 39888, for example. I want to convert this number becomes standard form. What do you mean by standard form? Standard form means I must have a number times 10 power of something. Okay, so how do I go number? You move the decimal point to the front, 1, 2, 3, 4, you stop, and you will get 3.9888 times 10 power of how many times you move? Let's say you already jump 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you put 4, positive 4. That's why your index must be positive. Now, if let's say you have a number 0.003988, for example. So I want to change this to become a standard form. How do I do? This point must move at the back. Go backwards. 1, 2, 3, stop, and you will get 3.988 times 10 power of here. You already move how many steps? You move 3 steps backward. You must have a negative index. Okay, so this is when you express or convert or change a number to standard form. Now, they also might ask you from standard form, change back to a number like this. Okay, standard form, change back to a number. So if they give you a standard form, you look at the index first. This index is positive. Positive means if I want to terbalikkan the process, go back to number, so I must move front. Move front how many steps? 6 steps. So go in front, jump, 6 steps. Move to the front. We move to the back because the answer that just now we moved to the front already. Now terbalikkan, we must move to the back. We move to the back. So this one must jump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You jump to the back. Now, when I jump to the back, what happened? You fill up all the spots here with 0 . So that's why you got so many zeros at the back. Okay, this is when you convert a standard form to a number. Now, what if your standard form has a negative number? Then you will jump in front. Okay, you jump in front. If they give you 3, then you jump 3 steps and you fill up the missing step here with 0 . All right, so that's why there's a 0 here. Okay, all right. Next one here. Okay, next we're gonna go next already because we don't have enough time already. Okay, now when you see a standard form plus another standard form or a standard form minus another standard form. Okay, so what you do is our formula, we must always make sure that your index becomes the bigger index. So if they give you -2, -3, which one is bigger? -2 is bigger. So you must think, how do I make this -3 becomes -2? So we plus 1. If we plus 1, means this decimal point must jump 1 step in front. Like for here, this is 10 power 4, this is 10 power 3. Then it's easier for us to see, hey, 4 is bigger. So if 4 bigger, I need to make this 3 becomes 4. So what do? I also need to plus 1. So if I plus 1, what do I do? The point here, jump in front 1 step. So when you jump in front here, you see, it becomes 0.78. And what happened to my index? It becomes 10 power of 4. So once you get your index all the same already, then only you can combine or do the operation. If here they say plus, right? Number plus this number, you put together. If they ask you to minus, this number minus this number, you put together. All right? And what about my index? My index already solved, is the same. So I just combine it as the same. So the number plus the number, you put in front. My power, I put at the back. Okay? So you see, Now, this question you need to minus, right? When I minus, my answer is 0.82 times 10 power 4. Don't write this as your final answer, you get wrong. Because your standard form, the number in front, cannot be 0 point something something. It's less than 1. So it does not fulfill your criteria of a standard form. So what do? Move this decimal point backwards. Go back. So when you go backwards, it becomes 8.2. But when you go backwards, what happened? Your index need to minus 1. When you jump one step, this index will need to minus 1. So that's why your index now becomes 10 power of 3. Because of the index, the decimal point, you jump backwards. Kurang 1. If you jump in front, tambah 1. Alright? Okay, next. What if, just now is plus and minus. What if you're given standard form times a standard form? Or standard form divide a standard form? So for times and divide, you do not need to make it bigger index. Tak perlu. Okay, what do? You just take the number, combine with the number. You combine lah. Okay, what about my index? You put them together also. You put them together. Okay, put them together. Now, when I put them together, I will apply my law of indices. Okay, what does the law of indices say? When I have this is base 10 times this is also base 10, they are same base, right? Same base. When I times, what do? The index must plus with the index. So this one, use back your chapter 1 formula. Okay, then only you put in your answer. And when you put in the answer, always check the answer, the number in front here. Make sure it fulfills the criteria of your standard form, more than 1, less than 10. Okay, all right. If no question, then I proceed already. So make sure you focus how to count your significant figure, what we did already, right? You know how to change the number to a standard form, change your standard form back to a number. You must know how to plus and minus a standard form. You must know how to times and divide a standard form, and also simplify lah. Okay, all right. Next, we are going to go in chapter 3 already. Okay, chapter 3, you have 3 types of savings. Make sure everyone remember what kind of saving is that. You have saving account. That is normal saving account, where last time they always give you a account book. Now they don't have account book already. Everything you go online and check how much is your balance. Yeah, so that is called normal saving account. Do you have interest? Yes, the bank will still give you interest, but the interest is very little only. Okay, and you can withdraw your money anytime. Okay, you are given a debit card so that you can withdraw your money, isn't it? Right? Okay, or you can also withdraw your money online, right? Okay, next one, and the second type is fixed deposit. This is where you use the formula NV, isn't it? Right? The matured value is for fixed deposit. All right. So for fixed deposit, the interest is higher than saving account, and you save the money in a certain period of time. 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, and so on. We use the formula NV to count your money together with the interest that you save in the bank. Okay, so if let's say the question, why there's a student from Sun Jin here? It's okay. It's okay. Anyone can join. Don't worry. It's okay. All right. Anyone can come in. Don't worry. All right. Now, why are you so focused on other people? You're not focusing on my lesson, leh? Akif, as usual lah. Always want to look left and right lah, huh? Don't want to look straight, you want to look left, right. Please pay attention, okay? Everyone is welcome to listen. Don't worry about that. Okay, now, only that every school you have different set of questions, but you will still have the same syllabus, right? So don't worry about that. Everyone will be tested the same thing. So they might ask, if let's say from fixed deposit, they might ask you, count the interest. Normally, for your formula NV, you count is the money that you save in the bank, which you call deposit, together with the interest. So when they ask you, hey, how much is your interest that the bank give you if you save in the fixed deposit? What do? You will take your NV, you minus your deposit, or we call principal. Principal and deposit is the same meaning. Understand not? So we use NV minus away your principal, you will get back your interest. If the question asks you like that lah, to count interest. If the question just asks you to count matured value, then you use MV lah. All right. So it depends on question. How do you use formula? Yes. Any question to ask? Yes, Ying Kai. Any question? Okay, accidentally press, is it? No question, I proceed now. Okay, now, so the keyword for fixed deposit is they use the word compound interest. Means they will count the interest in how many months. So if let's say they tell you they count in 1 year, then you need to count one time only lah, the interest. Let's say they tell you we compound the interest in 6 months, means in that 1 year, we always calculate as 1 year. In 1 year got 12 months, means the bank will count for you only 2 times if they say compounded 6 months. If the question says compounded 3 months, then you will use 12 divided by 3, means you will count your end is 4 times. Or they use the word quarterly. Sometimes they want to be tricky. They don't want to tell you it's 3 months. They tell you it's quarterly. Quarterly means you count 4 times. Okay, or they tell you monthly, means every month they count. If every month you count, means for the whole year is 12 times. N is 12. Okay, and for your T, this T here is time. And time here we always measure in years. Yeah. So sometimes the question will ask you, find the MV of somebody's money kept in this bank at the 5th year, for example. So if they say 5th year, you already know, oh, this person is keeping until 5 years. Okay, understand or not? So this is how you find information, get information from the question. Always read the question twice. Read question 1 time already, then underline what are the keywords given. They always have a keyword for you to identify what kind of, what do you need to do or what kind of formula you need to use. Understand? All right. So this is the second saving. Now the third saving is called current account, and this current account does not have interest at all. But why people want to use when the bank don't give you interest? Because there is something else that they can use. For example, they can use checkbook. They can also use overdraft facility. Overdraft means, let's say, for example, you have 100,000 of ringgit inside, but suddenly you need to pay for business sake. Let's say you need to pay your supplier more than 100,000 or more than the amount of money that you have. So what the bank do is, okay, you are allowed to use more than your own money, but that will be considered as overdraft, or in another word, it's like loan like that lah. So means you take more than your own money, then after that, you need to pay back the interest charge lah. Okay, so it's some sort like a loan like that lah, right? So that is called overdraft facility. Okay, right. Next one, if let's say the keyword here, compound interest, right? This is what teacher mean lah. When they ask you, let's say they have deposited how much money in the bank. They didn't tell you this is fixed deposit. No, they just tell you deposited into saving account. They give you the interest, and they say they ask you to count the savings at the end of 5th year. So they didn't tell you how many years, but they say it's at the end of 5th year. So from here you can read already. This is my time, and then they say compounded. This is the keyword for fixed deposit. And what is it? Quarterly. Quarterly means what? My end is 4. So this money is P, this percent is your R. So then only you use your formula MV to count your total saving with interest. Okay, so that it will be your MV lah. All right, next we are going to talk about investment. Okay, besides saving, to get money, we also use investment in shares. You buy shares or you sell shares. And you also buy shares from unit trust, which is managed by professionals, managers, or brokers or agents, where they analyze the share markets and they propose to you which shares that is stable and worth investing. Yeah. So in return of buying shares, you will get dividend, you will get bonus shares. And if you sell out the shares in higher price, you also get capital gain. Yeah, capital gain means the difference of the price that you get, the profit there. All right. And also you have real estate. Real estate is only applies for land, for house, for shops, not cars, not furniture, not things that you buy, products. This morning got someone asked me, teacher, what about things? And things is not. It's not considered real estate. Okay. So real estate, why people still want to buy real estate is because in long term, normally land, house, and shops, the value will increase normally. But certain situation like the place is not so good, sometimes the place is flooded and all that, then it will affect the market value of the property, that it might drop lah. Not every properties when you buy, the price will go up. There are many factors involved, okay? So what do you get when you invest in real estate? You will get capital gain, which is if you sell it out higher price, you will get profit, that is capital gain. If you rent it out to people to stay monthly, you will get rental fees, that is your profit, right? So this is investing in three things, shares, unit trust, and real estate. Now, the very important thing is when you invest in properties, normally we will need to measure how much profit do you get when I invest in something. Okay, normally businessmen, they a lot of money and they invest here, invest there, buy house here, buy house there, buy land here, buy there. So they want to know, when I buy this so many properties, which properties that give me higher profit. So ROI comes in very good formula to calculate which property can give you higher profit. So when you count ROI, return on investment, your answer must always give in percent. Don't give RM, because you are counting how many percent your profit for investing in something. Let's say, for example, you buy house and sell house. So when you buy house and sell house, the profit you get is the capital gain. Or before you sell the house, you rent it out, you also get rental. So this is your profit. But don't forget, you also, if you sell out the house, if it's mentioned in the question, it involves expenses such as lawyer fees for selling the house, for doing the agreement, paying the tax, stamp duty, and then paying the broker fees or agent fees, commission, and then what else? Signing the agreement fees. What else? Any other expenses lah? You need to minus out lah. And then only you divide by your initial investment. How much do you use to buy that house, for example? Yeah. So the answer you must always write in percent. Okay. So our conclusion here is for ROI, the profit that you get minus the expenses already, divide by your investment times 100. Answer must always in percent. Okay, there. Don't write RM. Okay, next one. This is an example from your textbook. You can just refer to your textbook. Example 12. How do we calculate ROI lah? Make sure it's in percent. Okay, and how do we calculate average cost per share if you are investing in shares? Just now is properties, right? So now we are talking about shares. Now, shares, there are a few ways of buying and selling shares, right? So the most effective way, we call this is cost averaging strategy. Cost averaging strategy. I need everyone to memorize these three words, okay? Cost averaging strategy. Now, this strategy, normally, wise investor or smart investor, they will use this method. Why? Because whatever money that they have, they will not use that one lump sum of money to straight away buy the shares with one price. So what they do is they will use this money and allocate a certain amount of money differently or consistently a few months, and use that small amount of money to buy at different price. By doing this way, you will see that the conclusion is your total share units that when you buy, it will be more, and the price you buy, it will be lower compared to you buy one lump sum shares with one price. That is the conclusion you can make with this cost averaging strategy. So when they give you a question like this, first month, second month, third month, you use different amount, right? And you buy at different price. So what you do is you always need to find the total shares first. How many shares that you manage to buy? So you can find the share units by taking the amount of money, divide the unit per price, your share unit price. Okay, so you need to find lah. Okay, can someone count first? Count. 3,000 divided by 1.25. How much do you get? How much do you get? Can everyone count for me? Teacher didn't have a calculator here. Someone just count for me and type in the chat here. 3,000 divided by 1.25. How much do you get? 2400. Thank you, Zhishan. Thank you, Camelia. 2400. And another thing, when you count, let's say you get per puluhan, 0.3 or 2 or 0.5 or something. Do not round off. Don't round off your share units, because this is not ringgit. This is units. So it's like just like one thing. So you cannot say, hey, I got this a little bit thing and then I tambah becomes one. No, it doesn't work this way for shares. So if you happen to have per puluhan decimal point, just ignore that decimal point. We will take the front number in front of your decimal point. Understand? So if you check from textbook also, they do this way. Yeah. Okay. So next, can someone find for me what is the share units for the second month? How many share units you managed to buy using the 3,000 ringgit with the 1 ringgit and 24 cent? Okay. Thank you, Jinhee. 2419. Thank you. And the other one, thank you, Hadrian. Okay, next one, what about the third month? Third month, please, someone help me to count. 3,000 divided by 1.22. How much do you get? Count. Zhishan say is 2459. Hadrian also say the same thing, 2459. Thank you very much, everyone. All right, very good. So you already counted. First month, I buy this much. Second month, I buy this much. And third month, I buy this much. So overall, what you do is you are going to take all this is your share units, right? So you are going to, if I want to know overall for these 3 months, right? For these 3 months, how much is the average cost or the average price, right? In Malay, we say purata lah, purata. Cost secara purata. So because you're buying at 3 different price and you're buying at 3 different months, right? So you will need to know overall how much is it cost actually, right? So what you do is you take your total investment, which you need to take your first month, second month, third month, you will need to plus together. That will be your total investment. So altogether you have already 9,000 here, right? Okay, that is your total investment. And you will need to divide by your total share unit. So you will need to take this plus this plus this to have your total share units. Okay, so can someone count for me also? How much is your total share units? Count. 2,400 plus 2,419 plus 2,459. How much do you get? All together. And this one is not RM. Share units is in units, no RM. Okay, Zhishan and Hadrian say 7278. Okay, yes, 7278 units, no RM, no RM. Okay, so when you take this investment, 9,000 divide by your unit, 7278 units, you will get how much? The answer, it will be RM already. Someone count for me, please. How much is your RM? 9,000 divided by 7278. 1.236. Okay, 1.236. Okay, Jock also say 1.236. All right. So if come out like this answer, it's best that you leave your answer in 2 decimal places. Why? Because cent normally got 2 numbers only, right? 50 cent, 20 cent, isn't it? Yeah, Brian, 1.236. Yes, but we normally, you will write another answer. You round off lah. Round off your answer. RM 1.24 lah. We don't show 3 decimal places for ringgit. For money value lah. We must show 2 decimal places only. Okay, clear? So if it happens to be like 1.236, then you round off to 1.24 lah. make sure you have 2 decimal places. Now, sometimes your answer, let's say you only 1.2. So when you write your answer, you put RM 1.2. Salah. Where got RM 1.2? Make sure your cent there got 2 decimal places, tambah another kosong lah, okay? Don't forget, you are still writing about money. Money cent means got 2 numbers at the back, okay? Take note this, all these are common mistakes that students always make. Okay, so this one is from your textbook. Make sure you go through again, the strategy buying one lump sum and the strategy distribute your money into several months and then buy at different price, and then you get different total share units. So overall, you count your cost averaging strategy, see whether which one is more worth it, who is the wise investor or the smart investor. So you must give your or justify your answer. Now, in this type of question, they ask you who, you must answer which person, who siapa. And then they ask you justify your answer, means you must give your reason why you choose this person. If you just answer that person only, but you didn't give your answer, you lose out marks. You tak jawab 2 soalan. There's 2 questions here. You don't just give 1 answer. There must be 2 answers. Okay, clear? Make sure you read out your question properly. And the risk level, the return level, the liquidity level, sometimes they might ask you in objective, sometimes they might give you in part B, sometimes they also might part C hardly lah. So normally is either A or B only lah, where they might ask you which one to compare, which one is higher, which one is lower, and then they might ask you to fill in the blank, or they might ask you to, they ask you true or false, or matching, which one is too low, which one is too high, and some on lah. These might come out lah. Okay, so you must remember all these lah. Okay, next we are going in credit card. Yeah, so for credit card, you must know the advantages and disadvantages. Why are you using credit card? And then what are the charges of using the credit card? Normally, when you use credit card, the bank will always charge 5% minimum payment. Means from the bill, you at least 5% or 50 ringgit, whichever that is higher, you need to pay to the bank. If you don't pay the bank or settle this bill, the minimum amount, then the bank will start to charge you late payment. Now, this late payment, it wouldn't be worth it, because that late payment, it will times your amount that you haven't paid together with your interest, you know. The charges, extra charges or the late payment charges is counted together with the interest. And then when you pay, you must pay your interest, you must pay your late payment also. So means like it's like you already double charged already, because you are charged interest and then you pay late payment. That late payment is also included your financial charge again. So like it's like double charge here already. So not worth it lah. So make sure you pay on time or pay that minimum payment. As long as you got pay a little bit, you have no late payment. Okay, right. Next one. Okay, this one, the situation, if they have no late payment, you didn't pay, then what is the charges on the late payment? And then how much do you pay? Or next month, what is your amount due? If you didn't settle this bill, next bill is how much? Sometimes the question might ask you like this lah. Or if I already pay, then next month the bill will show how much. They also might ask you this kind of question lah. Okay. Or what else? They ask you what is the balance shown next month, something like that lah. This one you can see from your textbook example 16 lah. Okay, so you can, everything is in the textbook. You can just go through the steps again lah. All right, now we want to focus on loan. Now loan here, we also count interest, but this interest is you pay bank, not bank pay you. You pay the bank. So for loan, we have 2 types of interest actually. Okay, simple interest or interest on balance. For loan, bank normally charge simple interest. But sometimes bank, they also charge interest on balance. Interest on balance, it will be more benefit to the customer, because the more you pay, the lesser interest you pay. Simple interest means every time you pay, you still be the same interest, the same interest, the same interest. Okay, so that is simple interest. And when you pay loan, you must remember a few things, how to calculate the interest, how to calculate the total repayment, which is the loan that you owe the bank, we call principal, together with your interest. PRT is your interest. So this formula is already in your front page that is shown there. So if you can't remember, you can go back to the formula page and look at it. But monthly installment is not given in the formula. You must know how to count. If let's say they tell you to pay back in 2 years, so means you must take 2 times 12 months. We always count monthly installment in months. Okay, so 1 year you have 12 months. So if let's say that you pay back the loan in 2 years, then 12 times 2 is 24 lah. So you will take your loan total repayment, divide by how many months that you need to settle. That will be your monthly installment lah. Okay, right. Next one, they might ask you questions like find your rate, find how many years you need to pay back, or find the principal, how much do you owe the bank when you're paying this interest, something like that. So they might twist and turn, ask you this, ask you that lah. All use what? All use the formula A equals to P plus PRT. All use this kind of formula lah, or the simple interest PRT. Okay, so they must ask you a lot of things. They might ask you rate, they might ask you principal, they might ask you years, how many years you're paying back, or they might ask you monthly installment. So this kind of questions might come out in your loan. All right, so I'm going to go next already. Okay, so what have we discussed is all here lah. All right, next we're going to go in chapter 4. Chapter 4, you must know how to resize. Okay, resize. When you resize, there must be a formula we call scale. And how do you write your scale? You can write in form of ratio. This is ratio. Or you can write in form of fraction. So there are 2 ways of writing your scale. Scale is just a formula to show how do you resize that certain shape. Okay, so how do I know which is object, which is image, or we call scale drawing? So normally, if you are given a shape, the labeling will tell you already which one is object, which one is image. So if they give you P, Q, R, S, and another one is P with the dot, Q with the dot, R with the dot. So this dot here we call prime, P prime, Q prime, R prime. So the one with the prime will tell you, hey, this is my image or the resize shape, or we call scale drawing. And the one without the dots is your object. So how do I write the formula or the scale? You will need to use one length. So you need to compare the same length for your object, the same length for your scale drawing. For example, you can choose to compare the vertical length with this vertical length, or you can choose to compare the horizontal length with this horizontal length. But when you compare, the scale drawing must always be the left side first. For example, if I want to count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, there are 4 units on my left side for my scale drawing. We always use the length. And then for my object on the right side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I will put 8. This is my length of object. So scale drawing on the left, object on the right. And when you write ratio for the scale, we always must make sure that the left side, it becomes 1. So how do I make this 4 becomes 1? Can someone help? How do I make 4 becomes 1?
You divide by 4 lah.
Correct. You divide by the same number. Whatever number they give you on the left, if they give you 10, they give you 20, you divide by that same number again. Divide by the same number, you get 4. You get 1. So if you divide 4 on the right side also, you divide 4. So always simplify your fraction or your ratio so that the scale starts with 1, ratio 2. And here in this case, you have 2. So when you have a scale, you must know how to interpret that scale. Aduh, loud, yeah, it's okay. No worries. As long as teacher can hear you and all your classmates can hear you, I'm very sure everyone is happy, right? All right. So 1 ratio to 2, you must know how to read the scale. You must know how to interpret. Macam mana nak baca ni? 2 ni untuk apa? You must know. What is it for? So this 2 is to show object. My object is twice bigger or 2 times bigger. Okay, 2 times bigger. So when my object is big already, you cannot resize your image bigger. You will resize your image smaller. So when you resize, now my scale drawing will be 2 times smaller. So if I want to draw smaller, if let's say the question asks, given ratio, the scale 1:2, draw scale drawing. Okay, sketch your scale drawing. So how do I know? Hey, I draw big or draw small? So you must look how to look at this number. 2 means my object big. So if my object big, my scale drawing, I need to resize 2 times smaller. So I need to divide. If I want to make it bigger, then I will times. How do I know I need to make it bigger? When you see like this, is a fraction. If it's a fraction, what it means? My object is already small. So my object is small already. Takkanlah saya nak resize lagi smaller. No, you will make it bigger. Your scale drawing will be bigger. Bigger what? Bigger 2 times. Okay, understand? Huh? So when you see scale, don't be afraid. You must know how to read that number. What is it for? Who is big? Who is small? What to do if I want to make it bigger? I times. What to do if I want to make it smaller? I divide. Clear or not? Right, next. Okay, next. Yeah. Okay, wait, I discard this first. Okay, so I'm going to jump to, okay, problem solving question. Okay, who knows? They give you problem solving question, like they give you the actual size of a road, of a highway, of a river. That is always the favorite question. Okay, then they ask you find the size or the length on the map. What do you mean by on the map? Means it's the scale drawing. You resize already, you draw on a piece of paper. That is resize. So means you're using the scale 1:100,000. Hey, why the number is so big? Because everything is in cm. This is in cm. Okay. So what do you mean by 1:100,000? Means in my map, that 1 here shows 1 cm. Okay. Dalam kertas, dalam peta, 1 cm. Okay, dalam salah 1 cm, if I see, oh, this is highway, highway A, highway B, A to B, for example. Hey, I measure that highway so small, 1 cm, but it's on the map. But if that map, 1 cm, what does it mean? It means the actual size, okay, size sebenar, not on the map, is 100,000 cm. Macam mana nak bayang ni 100,000 cm ni berapa panjang ni? How long is 100,000 cm? So what you do, you take 100,000, you convert that cm to meter, you divide by 100, convert it to kilometer, you divide by 1,000. So means you already cut 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 means is actually 1 km. So if you see on the map is 1 cm, actual size of that road is 1 km. So they say, hey, in the map, 1 cm, but actual size is 1 km. So they ask you, if my actual road is 4 km, so on the map, berapa cm? Outside 4 km. How many cm I need to draw? Ya, Sijie say 4 cm. Kalau 1 km di luar, you lukis 1 cm di peta, then 4 km, then you draw 4 cm. Okay? So, if let's say they give you terbalik pula, they give you the size of the map, but they don't know the actual size, you also must refer back to the scale that they give you. Okay? So, they might ask you this way, or they might ask you another way. Find the actual size. Only these 2 ways. Find the size of the drawing or find the size of the actual object or actual size, actual length. Okay? All right. Next. Okay, what else? Okay, let's go to chapter 5 already. No time already. Okay, chapter 5, you must remember the formula we call which is using sine, cosine, tangent. Now, these three formulas, we call these trigonometric value by comparing two lengths. There are ratios here, okay? Trigo is actually ratio of two lengths. You banding dua panjang, okay? The two lengths of a triangle. So for sine, you are comparing the opposite and the hypotenuse. So where do you find? Always shoot an arrow from the angle that you give and you find this is opposite. Then this one is your adjacent. The slanting line is always your hypotenuse. Okay, so if the question asks, okay, fine, sine angle. Okay, what is it? So what you do, look at the length of your opposite. Cari panjang the length of your opposite, and you divide by the length of your hypotenuse. If the question didn't tell me, hey, this one berapa cm, then you must find using Pythagoras theorem. Remember Pythagoras theorem, the formula in the paper, in your exam paper, right? Use that formula. Count if you don't know how to find the length of your right angle triangle. Okay, right. So if they ask for sine, cos, tangent, always take the length of your triangle and you put in form of fraction. For sine, for cos, for tangent, answer is always in fraction, but always try to simplify your fraction. But if, let's say, they don't want to find sine angle, they want to find angle. Alamak, how to find angle? Now you must terbalikkan lah. If they give you sine angle and you need to find angle, then you must press what? Shift sine, shift cos, shift tangent. The word shift in your calculator there is to terbalikkan to find the angle. Okay, I don't want to tell long already. If I tell the step lagi lah, we finish at 12 o'clock. All right, so make sure you all knows how to use the formula for sine, cos, tangent. Okay, next one for circle. Okay, for circle, make sure you know the name of the parts. If not means, if the question say diameter, apa dia cakap ni? Then you must know what are they telling you. Where is segment? Where is sector? Where is arc? Where is diameter? You must know what are they talking. Yeah. Then the question asks what? Then only you know. Oh, sector is for this part here. Arc is for the line outside the circumference here. Okay, radius is the center to the circumference. This is radius. Okay, diameter is from center to center. This is your diameter. So all these terms is very important so that you understand the question and what do they want, especially to count lengths and so on. Okay, now when they give you cyclic quadrilateral, make sure you remember two formula only. Okay, one, opposite each other in that cyclic quadrilateral, it will be equals to, both of these equals to 180. And these two also, both of these is also equals to 180. This is formula 1. Okay, formula 2, when you are given a cyclic quadrilateral also, the outside angle, or we call exterior angle, is always equals to inside but opposite. So this one here is the same as the outside one here. Okay, so make sure you know if they give you X here, you must go inside but shoot outside opposite. This 100 will be the same as your outside exterior angle. Okay, and then you must know how to find the angle at center, and then how do you find if these two is the same by looking at the same arc. And then what else? You must know if this is 3 times bigger, this X will be 1 time. And this arc here also must be 3 times longer. Okay, so it's all related. The angle and the arc is related. Okay, sorry, teacher has to be fast forward a lot already. Must be fast and furious already. If not, means we cannot finish in time. And then the center is always double of the size of the angle at the circumference on top. But both of them must be using the same art. Okay, they must using the same art. Or you're using a very big art here, we call major art. Then this angle is 2 times the angle on top here. This will be your x. Okay, there's 2 scenarios here. One, the art is smaller, another art is bigger, so the angle is different. Okay, next, teacher want to go to, I'm going to skip R. If you are given a triangle, and that triangle, the hypotenuse is a diameter, then that triangle, you will form a 90 degrees here. Okay, that is 90 degrees. Okay, what else that we need to know? Okay, about a line that touches your circle, that is called tangent. This line is called tangent. And when you have a line that touches the circumference, we will have radius. Okay, radius. Radius and a tangent is always a T. Always a T. So when you have a T, the angle that form the radius and the tangent, it is always an L shape. So that L shape tells you this is a right angle or is 90 degrees. Okay, it's 90 degrees there. All right, so this is your radius. Yeah. All right, next one, when you have the shape like just like a kite, where this line, your AB is a tangent, your CD is also a tangent, it will form a kite shape. So when you see a kite shape, the angle on top and the angle at the bottom is always the same. The length on top and the length at the bottom is also the same. Yeah, so it's just like a kite, symmetrical. Okay, next one, we also must look at triangle inside your circle. This is something like your quadrilateral also. The outside exterior angle is always equals to inside but opposite. It cannot be opposite here. Tak boleh. No. Why? Because this line is just at the side of your x. Cannot. It must be the other line, not at the side of your x. Okay? So you make sure you know which angle that is same. Okay, next one. Okay, chapter 7, your orthogonal projection. If you are given a certain solids or 3D shape and you are looking from a certain direction, for example, I'm looking from the front, what do I see when the shadow is projected at the back? For example, it's a vertical plane. So when it's projected at the back for a cylinder, it will look like it's not a curve, it's a flat rectangle. If I see a cone shape, when I look at the shadow, it's not going to be a curve, it's going to be a flat triangle. Okay, so you must know what is the shape when you see the shadow of it. All right, and the next one is if they give you a box or a 3D shape, you must know if you see from top view, your orthogonal projection, the shadow is going to be on the horizontal plane. So when you draw, you will draw a rectangle. And then if you are looking from the side, means you are standing here. Let's say, for example, you are standing here and you're looking here from the right. So you will see the shadow of it on a vertical plane on your left. So you will draw the trapezium shape out. Okay, now, problem is, if let's say you are given a shape, the box, one short and one tall, so it's not same size. So if you are standing on this side, okay, you are looking at this box, so you see the short one first. This is your front, and then this is your back. So the back is higher than the front. So what do you see? You will see the front and the back, these two combined together. So you will have these two surfaces combined together. You will have a rectangle and you will see a line. Where is that line showing? The line is actually showing this one. Here. This is the line. This is the line. So it's showing it here, this one. But if let's say terbalik, the front is taller, the back is shorter. You tak nampak dari belakang, kecil. So when it's terbalik, you see the front is already so tall, blocking, at the back is hidden, then you cannot draw solid line already. What must you draw? You must draw dotted line, dot line. So the dotted line is to show, hey, I have something at the back, shorter, hidden at the back. Okay, so you must know in what condition you need to draw the straight line, in what condition you need to draw in dotted line. All right. Okay, next, what else? Besides the orthogonal projection, you must know how do you draw your full scale plan. For example, now this morning 3S asked me, teacher, you sure that the full plan will come out? I don't know. Who knows, it might come out. But normally the question they will ask you, just draw one part, draw the plan or draw the front or draw the side, right? So I said, teacher said, you must always be prepared. We don't know what kind of question might come out. You have to be prepared. You cannot just CA. They always ask me this question, means they will never ask me this. Nothing is impossible, right? So you have to be prepared. So in case they ask you for full scale plan, full scale plan means you must draw everything. Okay, so you must draw everything. So let's say if they give you a box, for example, okay, they give you a box. So if let's say they tell you, okay, I'm looking from this side, this is the side, I'm looking from the right side. So if I'm looking from the right side, I will draw my line on the left. Okay, so you must have your protractor with you. Everyone must have a protractor. This one, the semicircle one, right? So that you can see where is the 45 degrees line to draw this angle. And when you have this quadrant, remember, you must have the box in the middle. Remember the 1 cm box? Then only you start drawing from that 1 cm box. Please always start with the 1 cm box, yeah? And then only you draw the line. If let's say the side is looking from the left, then you will need to draw the side line 45 degrees on the right. Okay, clear? So make sure this one you don't get confused, yeah? This one is very important. And labeling is very important. Make sure you label all the edges, all the lengths, and also one more thing, please use your pencil, lightly connect one end to another end, one end to another end. Okay, from here you will connect to your 45 degrees line, and 45 degrees line connect to this end. So all the lines must be connected to show that it is related lah. And when you connected, this part here must meet exactly at your 45 degrees. And some people, when you don't draw accurately, your line will not meet your 45 degrees line. This shows that your measurement is wrong. You draw wrongly. So if you draw accurately, all the lengths are correct, you follow the diagram, it will meet at 45 degrees line there. Mesti bertemu. Okay, so remember to bring your protractor to draw the 45 degrees line, and pencil must be sharp. You must have your ruler also, yeah, transparent ruler better lah. Don't get a wooden ruler. You cannot see anything at the back. Okay, so be prepared, all these things. You have one more day to be prepared, so make sure everyone have all the tools with you. And sometimes they might give you problem solving question. They ask you to draw already, then they ask you to find your area, or they ask you to find volume. Okay, so area and volume, most of the formulas are already given in front of your exam paper. So don't worry about that. So you just make sure you go to find the formulas lah, in case if you need it lah, right? Okay, then we will go to locus. Make sure you know there are 5 types of locus and what are the keywords to draw the locus. Okay, this one you must find out. Okay, if they give you a dot, satu titik, and they give you a distance, satu jarak, you will form a circle. This is your locus number 1. If they give you a point, titik 1, another point, titik 2, 2 points, and they tell you must move equal distance. Equal distance means you move in the middle, bergerak di tengah. So you will draw a perpendicular bisector. Okay, this is second. Next, they will give you a line. Satu line, satu baris, not dua titik, no. One line. One line. You will need to draw a distance draw a parallel line, another parallel line. So you will have two parallel lines as your locus. Now, when you draw locus, always label locus what? Locus X ke, locus Y ke, locus Z ke. So make sure apa ni Z. Nak tidur ke? Nak tidur, you can leave already. Okay? You no need to wait until finish. You want to sleep, you go to sleep already. All right? So this is parallel line. Next, if you are given a line, diberi not a line, two lines. You're given two lines. And they say you must move equal distance also. Equal distance means you must mesti bergerak di tengah lah, in between of these two lines. You will draw a line parallel in between. So this is a line in between of the parallel lines. Okay, then if you are given two lines that are intersecting, a V shape. So if you are given a V shape, you will need to draw angle bisector, where you need to draw in the middle is also equal distance. Okay, so remember, there are 5 types of locus, and you must know what to draw when they give you all these keywords. And lastly, your straight line, make sure you must know how do you change from y equals to mx plus c to ax plus by equals to c, or change to x over a plus y over b equals to 1. This one teacher cannot teach you here because it will take a long time. Okay, so make sure you go and find out how to change. And please remember how to find gradient. Gradient means how slanting is a line, kecerunan garisan. The M, if the gradient higher, means the line will be very high. If the M is lower or very small, means the line is very not so steep. Yeah, bukan tak cerun. So 4 ways that you must know. The first one is you find if they give you a line. If they give you a line, okay, if they give you a line like this, so what you do is you form a right angle triangle, you count how much is my vertical distance, berapa unit, and how much is my horizontal berapa unit, and you divide. The vertical one yang menegak, bahagi yang melintang. Okay, to count the slanting line here, that is your gradient. Or you can use 2 coordinates, this x and this y, then you can count minus to find your gradient. Or you can also use intercept, yeah, and that intercept you must have a negative in front of your formula. Where to find the intercept? If the line pass through your y-axis here, this is your y-intercept. Pass through your x-axis here, this is your x-intercept. You can use the intercept. Kalau tak tahu, then you use other method lah. Or you can also find from your equation, kalau dia bagi persamaan, your gradient you can find beside your x. But always make sure your y is 1y. Kalau dia bagi 3y equals to 2x tambah c, you cannot say, my gradient is 2. Salah. Your gradient, you need to find when your y is 1. Kalau y is 3y, salah, cannot. So what you do? Move these 3 away first, you divide. So you have y equals to 2 over 3x plus, let's say this is 4 lah, for example. Then you 4 over 3, for example. All on the right, you divide by 3. Okay, then only you say, this number here beside my x, this is my gradient. Nombor di tepi x, bila y ialah 1, then only this is my gradient, m. Okay, all right. After that, what else do you need to know? I think that's it lah. Okay, and when they ask you to find point of intersection, when they give you 2 lines, how can you find the point where these two line meets? You can draw graph, or you can use substitution method. Ini cikgu tak boleh ajar sini dah lah ya. You all have to revise by yourself. Or you can use elimination method. Okay, so there are 3 methods to find point of intersection. All right, so lastly, before we finish at 10, teacher want to wish everyone good luck, all the best. And if you still have any questions, you can always ask me when you see me lah. Okay? Yes. Any question to ask me, Yen? Anything? Okay, nothing, then we stop here. And everyone needs to go to sleep already, right? So all the best. Good luck. Be prepared and do more revision. All right? Okay, bye-bye. Good night. See you, everyone. Okay, bye.
Good night. Bye, Cikgu.
Bye.
Teacher,
Yes.
can you go back to the previous slide?
Which one? This one?
Keep going, keep going.
Okay lah.
Mana?
I don't know which one lah.
Yang tadi ke? This
The
one?
one that with the gradient.
Okay. Yep. Which one you want to ask me?
The gradient is like, just now you put 2/3.
Yeah.
Can it be
Just now
like
is the
4/3
question.
or 5/3? Like the top number is like bigger. Can it be like that, or it
For
be like
y-intercept? For y-intercept, you mean the C here?
no,
Can is
the x, the gradient.
this one?
Yeah. Can it be like the top number is bigger than the down number?
Maybe not. It is possible. It is possible.
So we
No
don't have to
lah.
simplify.
Cannot. Wait, your gradient. Can lah. Can.
English apa?
Can.
Siapa?
Hardly we have the case that the number on top is bigger than the number at bottom lah, but it is still correct lah. It's still correct.
So
No need to change.
do we have to simplify it?
No need to change to improper. Simplify. If you have like 5/3, how to simplify?
So it's become 1/2/3 lah?
No need to change the mixed number.
Okay.
Just leave it as a fraction.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Okay, good night, everyone. You can leave now. Bye.
Bye, teacher. Thank you.
Good night. Good luck. Yes, Yuman, you want to ask something? Yuman, you want to ask me something? Okay, what is it? Yes, you may ask. For cosine tangent chapter, if one of the side I find, for example, is 12.6, okay, do I need to add to 13? For length, normally we don't do round off, unless the question asks you to round off lah. Angle, no need also, they don't ask you to round off also. Normally round off is when the angle is in degrees and minutes and seconds, and the seconds are more than 30 seconds, then only you round off the minutes. Round off to minutes. Normally we round off seconds when it's more than 30 seconds. You can round off to add in 1 minute. That one can. Okay? All right. Good night, everyone. Okay, bye-bye.